Hey everyone, good afternoon. Today I am doing a video test. Okay, also, it's just very cold and I'm trying to navigate and not run into anyone. And it's super windy, but I think is it snowing? It's kind of like drizzling a little bit. But today is Sunday, November 15th. It's 2:17 p.m. It's very windy. It's very cold. I just finished walking 2.5 miles one way. Now I'm walking 2.5 miles back. Oh my God, it's cold. Okay, so today, alright, on the left is the Pixel 4a, on the right is the, do you see what I do for you guys? You guys should be lucky. On the left is the Pixel 4a, on the right is the Pixel 5. Again, we're going to be testing video on the front and rear cameras. Pay attention to things like video quality. I'm actually wondering about video stabilization on the Pixel 5, if it's actually that much better, considering the fact that the Pixel 5 is a $700 phone and the Pixel 4a is a $350 phone. Pay attention to things like audio, like the microphone, but also because it's so windy, how have you, like how are both phones handling like wind noise cancellation? Is it handling it at all? Is it one handling it better? I'm also fumbling my words, so I apologize. What else am I missing? That's really about it. This is just me like doing it handheld right now without me really moving, so it's not so bad. So again, it's super windy, but pay attention to things like that. I'm also just talking a lot, so I will flip the camera around. We will test rear cameras, but like looking at them both right now, the only difference that I see is that the Pixel 5, it looks like I have a redder face or a more orange face. Also, my nose looks really red on the Pixel 5. The Pixel 4a looks a lot more normal. I will say the Pixel 5 also has a 1.4 times zoom. So I have gloves right now, but I'm gonna try to like, how much closer in zoom is this gonna? Oh, okay, well, I don't like that. That's like too close in. So we're gonna zoom back out, but I guess if you needed that extra zoom, you can have it. All right, let me zoom this back out because that's really weird. All right, we're back at 1 times. Again, here in Chicago, super cold, super windy, audio, video stabilization. It's one better than the other. I might as well like pause for a second so we can see what it looks like when it's not like too crazy movement. All right, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna flip both of these cameras around, test it. We're only gonna do 1080/30 for today. If you really wanna see 4K, I can do that. I also need to do night shooting, but I don't know. I'm like super cold and the thought of going out again later in the evening to do this just does not sound appealing whatsoever. I still have tests to do with the iPhone 12 Pro Max and I haven't even started with that yet. Okay, I'll have to flip these cameras around. Let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, so right now, again, the left is the Pixel 4a, right is the Pixel 5. Right now we're just recording at 1080, 30 frames per second. I'm at a red light here, so just take a second to kind of like pan around. It's it looks like it's raining, but I think it's also like snowing just a little bit. It is super cold today, like ridiculously cold. This is the coldest it's been, I think, in a while. I think it's not even really the cold, it's the wind. The wind is just making things like pretty awful at the moment. Anyway, like I said in the earlier video, pay attention to things like the video quality, like the colors, video stabilization. Actually, now that I'm looking at it with the rear cameras, the video stabilization on the Pixel 5 looks amazing versus what I'm seeing with the Pixel 4a. I don't know if it's going to display differently. I'm assuming that, wow, I mean, the Pixel 4a just looks completely unstabilized compared to what the Pixel 5 is providing, which is great. I'm glad to see that. I was wondering if there was going to be a difference at all between the 4a and the 5, and the stabilization looks really good on the 5. Although the colors and the video quality look pretty similar. So when I'm just standing still, they both look very similar, but as soon as I start to move, the Pixel 5 just looks super, super stabilized. So here's the thing too. The Pixel 5 also has a wide angle that the Pixel 4a does not. So I can zoom out further, right? And then the thing is, the Pixel 5 is showing the 2 times. And what is that, the hybrid zoom or whatever? Is that what they call it? Which I'm guessing doesn't look bad at all, and actually, like, the stabilization again is pretty solid. All right, let's put this back to 1 times, so they're both the same. Oop, almost tripped there. Again, it's a Sunday afternoon. It's cold, and I understand that, like, why would anybody be out at this time? They can just be home, relaxing. That's me doing my thing. So, all right, guys, I don't really know how much else to really film here. I think I'm getting a good glimpse of how both of these modes perform. So it's super windy, and I'm trying not to get blown away. So, with that being said, guys, I think that's it. If I do make another video, it will be in the evening. Might as well take a look at these colors and see if it looks different. They look pretty similar. If we look up in the sky, that looks pretty similar too. Again, like the quality, the image quality doesn't look bad at all for the Pixel 4a. It's just, I think the big noticeable difference right now is the video stabilization, and I guess we'll see when I output this if the 4a's audio is similar to the 5. All right, that's it for now. Later, guys. I'll see ya. Alrighty, good evening, guys. So on the left here is the Pixel 4a. On the right is the Pixel 5. We're doing tests at night to see how good one looks versus the other. It's weird though, because as I'm looking at it right now, the 4a looks like it actually looks better in low light. This is the front camera, by the way, just the selfie cam. So again, pay attention to things like video. Let me put this down. Video quality, video stabilization, audio. Well, this is like really dark here. Wow, actually, I don't know. We'll see how this comes out in terms of like when I export it to PC. Sorry, I'm just like looking to see how this looks. So the 4a looks like my skin tone looks a lot more normal than the 5, which is interesting. As I'm walking forward here, yeah, the 5 looks like it's just darker, but it could be the display. When you saw my test that I did yesterday in terms of daytime, the audio during the day, or the audio in general, was just good on both. The 5 did seem like the audio was a little better when I flipped the cameras around, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. I didn't see much of a difference between the two. Again, this is just, well, here's an alley too that's pretty dark. If you can see the lights in the back. Like, one doesn't look overexposed than the other. They look both pretty similar. And then as I swing it around, you can see how the light changes. And the street light there, and the night sky. I think they're both going to come out pretty good. I mean, I think they're both going to be pretty similar. I don't think they're going to be too much different. From the day testing, it did look like stabilization was the same for the front cameras. The only difference is the fact that this front camera on the Pixel 5 has the 1.4. So you can zoom in if you need to zoom in, which is too much of a zoom in for me right now. But it can be useful. Like you can see this light here as it like goes on and off to see if it's... They both look real similar. I don't think there's much of a change between the two. All right, sorry, I gotta put my mask on. I think that'll really be it. This is just a quick test at night just to see how it looks, and we'll go from there. At least it's not windy tonight and it's not that cold, so completely doable. All right, I'm gonna flip these cameras around. We'll test the rear cameras and see if that really makes a difference. But at least from what I'm seeing, they both look pretty similar, and in some cases the 4A actually look better than the 5, and my glasses are foggy. Okay, all right. Alrighty, so we are testing the rear cameras for the Pixel 4A, which is on the left, and then the Pixel 5, which is on the right. Sorry, I put my mask down because I sound very muffled. Again, we're gonna go ahead and pay attention to things like video quality, audio, video stabilization. I know that I say the same stuff, but it's also just so we can test out the video at the time. We can also listen for any kind of like wind or noise cancellation, although there isn't much noise right now or wind right now. So I think we'll be okay there. But city sounds, we'll see if it has any effect there. We'll also like go into, I mean right now, you know, like for street lights and taking a look to see if there's any kind of difference, but they both look really similar. Again, we're talking about a $350 phone on the left here and a $700 phone on the right. And I know camera isn't everything, but if camera is a priority and price is a priority, then the Pixel 5 might not make a lot of sense to you. So like, as I have both of these here, at least on the display, the Pixel 5 looks a little darker, but the orange is in a little more contrast, although the display just went darker on me. I don't know if you've had this issue. Anyone that has a Pixel 5, sometimes the display gets darker when it shouldn't, which is what's happening right now. There you go. Now it brightened itself up again. The 4A doesn't really have that issue. Ooh, neon lights. So I mean, they look really similar. If anything, the Pixel 5 might be a little more in tune, but not really. Oh, we'll walk across. In terms of video stabilization, like the Pixel 5 looks a little more stabilized again, but this is what happened when I recorded yesterday. The 4A looked a little off, but for the most part, it's still stabilized after I uploaded the video. Again, we'll take a look at lights. There's just a slow pan over. I really think they're the same phone. Again, real quick. So the only difference on the Pixel 5 is you can use the ultra wide, so you can get a wider shot like this. Get a little more real estate when it comes to photos and videos. And then it also has this 2x hybrid zoom. So I know you can zoom in with the 4A, right? Yeah, you can. You can zoom in up to 5 times like that. Well, you can also zoom in to 5 times with the Pixel 5. So maybe that's where the difference is going to be. But honestly, the 4A looks better from what I'm seeing at a 5x zoom. So, okay, we'll just go back to the 1x for both. Honestly, I think that's it. In this shot right now, the 5 looks a little more warm, a little more yellow. Night sky, trees, lights, buildings. And I think that's it.